Okay, so let me ask you a question. Right now, if I offered you a steaming hot plate of chicken biryani, or I offered you your freedom,
Mm.
but you could only choose one, which one would you pick?
Well, it sounds like the easiest question in the world, doesn't it? Or maybe, I don't know, a bit of a joke.
Right. Who picks lunch over liberty?
Exactly.
You'd probably feel insulted if I even asked you that seriously. But stick with us because that question, biryani or freedom, it's not a party game. It is, and this is not an exaggeration, one of the most dangerous psychological traps ever designed.
It's a window into how our minds are manipulated every single day. And this isn't some, dusty academic theory from 100 years ago.
No.
We are looking at a very specific modern thought experiment called the chicken biryani experiment.
And the mind behind this is just fascinating. We're talking about the work of Aruna Reddy. Now, if you follow Indian cinema, specifically Tollywood, the Telugu film industry, that name might ring a bell.
Yeah, he's a film director. He did that movie Matsya, which is this really cool sci-fi mythological film.
Which is such an interesting background for this kind of work, right?
Mm.
A storyteller who gets mythology, but then, on the other hand, Aruna Reddy is also an independent scientific researcher.
So he's blending narrative with behavioral science. He designed this whole experiment to test one specific thing,
Oh.
how the concept of freedom is actually weaponized against us.
Okay, so let's set the scene, because where this happened matters almost as much as the question itself. This was not in some sterile university lab.
No white coats or clipboards, and that's absolutely key. This all went down at a weekend party
A family party.
at an ancestral building. The whole atmosphere was casual, family everywhere, good vibes. And Aruna Reddy is just there with his immediate family,
And the test subjects, if you can even call them that, were the kids.
the unsuspecting participants, yeah. And we have a mix of ages here, which is important. There's Rigved and Shrestha. They're the oldest at 13.
Okay.
Then you've got this middle group, Riddhi, Samhita, and Pracheshna, who are all 11. And then the youngest, Shivansh, who's only 9.
Right. So you've got this group of cousins. They're just hanging out, probably expecting, games or treats or something. And Reddy gathers them around.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want you listening right now to really play along. Just put yourself in that ancestral house. You're sitting on the floor with these kids.
Okay, so here are the rules. It's a 2-step game, but, and this is so crucial, step 2 is invisible.
You don't know it exists.
You don't know it exists. You have to lock in your answer for step 1 forever before you find out what happens next.
So Reddy looks at these kids and at you, and he asks the question for step 1. The offer is, option A, I will serve you a delicious chicken biryani.
Or option B, I will serve you your freedom.
But you have to choose only one.
That is the trap. It's presented as this simple binary choice, the food or the ideal.
And obviously, if you're a 13-year-old like Rugved or Shrestha or, really anyone with a sense of dignity, you're thinking,
Well, I can get biryani anytime. But freedom is everything.
of course. Yeah. And that's what happened. Rugved, Shrestha, Riddhi, Samhita, Pratyeshna, almost all of them, they locked in their answer immediately.
They chose freedom.
And they felt good about it, right?
Right.
They chose the noble option. They secured their liberty. But then the trap springs.
This is step 2, the hidden step. Once they locked in freedom in step 1, Reddy revealed the second question. And you have to remember, they've already used up their freedom chip. They traded the biryani for it.
So what's the new question?
New question is, option A, I serve you a rotten rat biryani.
Oh, wow.
Or option B, I serve you complete slavery.
Whoa. Okay, let's unpack the logic here because this is where it really twists your brain.
The logic is just brutal. In step 1, they chose freedom, right? They gave up the good chicken biryani to get that freedom.
Okay, yeah.
Now, in step 2, they're staring at a plate of rotten rat or actual slavery, if they choose slavery. Well, that completely negates their first choice. They lose the very freedom they just bought.
So to hold on to the freedom they already selected, they have to eat the rotten rat biryani.
Precisely. They are forced to consume the garbage because the only other option is slavery, which would make their first choice meaningless. They trapped themselves.
The moment they agreed to play the game for freedom, they lost their actual freedom to refuse the bad outcome.
That's it. That's the whole experiment in a nutshell.
That is genuinely horrifying. It's like once you accept that someone else has the power to grant you your freedom, you're already their prisoner. You just don't know it yet.
And that's exactly what happened to the older kids. Rugved, Shrestha, the 11-year-olds, they all walked right into it. Chose freedom first, which forced them right into the rat biryani second.
You said almost all of them. There was one outlier,
Shivansh,
The 9-year-old.
the 9-year-old.
So what did Shivansh do?
He was the youngest, but maybe the most intuitive. When the first question was asked, Biryani or freedom, he didn't answer. He refused to play the game.
He just opted out completely.
Yeah. He sensed something was wrong with the whole premise. He must have realized that the game itself was rigged. He didn't engage.
And because he didn't engage in step 1.
He never had to face step 2. He was the only one who didn't end up with the metaphorical rat biryani on his plate.
Well, the 9-year-old outsmarted the teenager logic.
He really did. And that brings us to the core lesson Reddy is trying to teach here. The whole point of the experiment wasn't just to gross out some kids.
Right.
It was to demonstrate that if freedom is ever offered to you as a choice, it is a trap.
Because true freedom isn't something someone can just hand you.
Exactly. If I have the power to give you freedom, I also have the power to define its terms or take it away. The moment you enter the game, your freedom becomes an illusion. You're just forced to take whatever bad option is left in the invisible steps that always follow.
This applies to so much more than just a thought experiment. I mean, my mind immediately goes to scams.
Oh, absolutely. This is the core mechanism of the fraudster, the predator. They offer you something so enticing, a freebie, a gift, maybe financial freedom.
Click here to claim your prize. Sign up for this free webinar to unlock your hidden potential. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. And we have to gauge people who offer us these things. The concept of the intelligent victim is so real. I mean, Rugved and Shwesa are smart kids. They're teenagers, they can use logic, but they fell for it.
So intelligence doesn't save you.
No, intelligence doesn't save you from this trap. Only awareness does.
The big takeaway here seems to be like Shivansh. Just reject the game.
Don't engage with the premise. If someone offers you a choice that involves your own fundamental autonomy, just walk away.
Okay, so that's the experiment itself. But Arun already goes so much deeper, and this is where we really need to focus, because this next part, this is the real truth behind it all. This isn't just about avoiding scams. It's about how our entire reality is shaped.
Yeah, this section has the most, I'd say, chilling insights from Reddy's research. We all like to think we're independent thinkers, right?
Of course, I'm the captain of my soul. I make my own choices.
But Reddy argues that, while humans are social animals, we can't avoid association. And then he confesses something very humble and, frankly, terrifying.
What's that?
He says that if someone ran this source code, this same chicken biryani trap on him, even he would not be immune.
Wait, the creator of the experiment says he's not immune to it?
No one is. He says there is no real escape. The goal isn't total immunity because that's impossible. We have to interact with the world. The goal is just constant, vigilant awareness in every single moment.
Let's break down how this trap looks in the real world, because it's not usually someone offering you a literal plate of biryani. It's much, much subtler. Reddy uses this analogy about Alaska that I found really insightful.
This is what he calls the seed planting technique. So imagine someone just starts talking to you casually about the climate in Alaska today.
Okay, random conversation.
Totally random. Oh, the glaciers are beautiful, or the air is just so crisp there, it seems completely harmless. You don't live in Alaska, you're not planning a trip. It's just small talk.
Or so you think.
Or so you think, but they are grooming you. They're planting a seed. They're getting you to visualize it, to feel a tiny little spark of interest. Why?
So that a month from now.
Exactly. So that a month later, when the trip plan, which is the real trap surfaces, you are already primed. You're already excited about the idea of Alaska.
They pluck the fruit a month later, but they planted the seed when you weren't even looking.
That's it. You think saying yes to the trip is your free choice. But your emotional state was engineered weeks ago. You're just reacting to a script that they wrote for you.
He also talks about mass media. And this is something, I mean, we see this constantly. He calls it the football analogy.
This is a perfect example of how the trap scales up to millions of people. Suddenly, out of nowhere, all the media outlets in your country start hyping some foreign football player.
Someone you've never heard of. They probably play in a league you don't even watch.
Right. This player has zero relation to your country, your culture, your life. Yesterday, you didn't know he existed. But then the media bombardment begins. They tell you his backstory, his struggles, his greatness.
And suddenly you're a fan.
You're not just a fan. You're a soldier for the cause. You start fighting debates online with your friends and family. You're arguing stats. You're buying the jersey. You feel this genuine emotional connection to this person.
But the reality is?
The reality is the player doesn't know you exist and doesn't care. He cares about his wealth, and the media manager behind the whole campaign, he just wanted to open a new geological market for merchandise.
So you weren't a fan. You were a recruited soldier for someone else's profit.
You're eating the rat biryani. You're wasting your time and energy defending a total stranger because you accepted the initial freedom to just pick a team and have fun.
That is devastatingly accurate. We see people pouring their whole lives into defending celebrities or brands that wouldn't look twice at them.
And that leads us to the darkest part of Reddy's analysis. We talked about step 1, the offer, and step 2, the rat biryani. But Reddy says there's a step 3, an invisible one.
The conquest.
This is where the trap moves from being a simple scam to being a life-destroying force. The chicken biryani doesn't just turn into a rat biryani, it becomes a door to lifelong trauma.
What does that look like? I mean, how do we know if we're in step 3?
You look for the symptoms of alienation. Reddy lists them, and they are stark. Suddenly, you start hating your family. He calls this literally stupidity, but it happens. You start hating your country. You start hating your religion. You start hating your 9-to-5 job.
You start hating the very things that nourished you up until that moment.
Exactly. Just think about that for a second. The things that sustained you, your community, your heritage, your livelihood, all of a sudden you see them as the enemy. Why? Because you've been sold a new freedom that requires you to destroy your old reality to get it.
It's that illusion of ownership again, isn't it? We think, I have the freedom to think this way, but is it your freedom?
That is the question of this deep dive. Is it yours? Or was it given to you? Was it bombarded into your head via social media, TV debates, movies, books? We hear slogans all the time like change is good, or these big appeals to modernity and humanity.
Be on the right side of history.
Right. And once you see the mechanism, you see how ridiculous it all is. The world is constantly playing this game with you. It's trying to create a hollow in your personal life.
And Reddy specifically warns about one target that is softer than all the rest, religious ideologies.
Yes, and this is crucial. He calls them the most sinister way to manipulate people because faith is deep. It's core to a person's identity.
So once a manipulator gets a hold of that.
Once your faith is in their hands, freedom is peanuts. They don't just control your wallet anymore. They control your soul. They can weaponize you. They create unrest, not just in society, but inside of you. They hollow you out from the inside.
And thinking back to the participants, the kids, this experiment was designed for teenagers.
It was, and that's not an accident. Teenagers are vulnerable, of course, but more specifically, they haven't yet developed the logical and psychological shields to operate in this kind of sinister world. They are hungry for identity, hungry for freedom.
They're the perfect targets for the chicken biryani offer.
Absolutely. But again, and this is so important, adults should not get cocky here.
Right.
As Reddy said, even he isn't immune. If you think you're too smart to be trapped, you are already halfway to eating the rat biryani.
So we've laid out the entire trap. Step 1, the enticing offer of freedom. Step 2, the forced choice of the rat biryani. And step 3, the conquest hating your own roots. This is heavy stuff.
It is.
So what do we do? Well, let's do a quick inventory check for everyone listening and for us too.
Yeah.
We kind of need to audit our own lives.
You have to. You have to look at your ideology, your ethics, your food habits, your view of history, even your health parameters, and especially your feelings about new change.
If you feel a sudden burning desire for a new change that requires you to burn down everything you came from,
you have to ask yourself who planted that seed. Ask if you are truly choosing it or if you're just playing out step 2 of someone else's game. Your beliefs may already be trapped.
the solution isn't to become a hermit and run away from society.
No, we're social animals. We can't avoid association. The only solution is awareness. It's about recognizing the pattern of the game.
It's about being like Shivansh.
That 9-year-old kid gives me so much hope. He represents the possibility of seeing through the whole game. He didn't argue about the flavor of the biryani. He didn't debate the definition of freedom.
He just looked at the game master
and said, I'm not playing.
He rejected the premise. That's such a powerful image.
It is. And we have to thank Arun Reddy for exposing this. He took a simple concept, biryani, and showed us the literal source code of manipulation. It looks so simple and safe at first.
And that's exactly why it's so dangerous.
That's the nature of the best traps. They don't look like traps at all. They look like lunch.
Exactly. So here is the final provocation for you to carry with you from today. In every moment of your life, when you're scrolling your phone, when you're in a heated argument, when you're making a big life change, just stop and ask yourself, am I choosing the chicken biryani? And if I am, what is the rat biryani waiting behind it?
Stay aware.
And we'll catch you on the next deep dive.